was good? Y'all already know we are feeling live today, feeling fine. I'm off a icicle and a lime LaCroix, but we are back with the Runners Club podcast. This is your host, Ian. I am with
me, Courtney Phillips.
How y'all feeling today? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like it's a new day. I'm feeling like
it is actually. Good morning.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely. This week has been really good. I had my first LA event last night. Yeah, so that was like, to get invited and to be at a dinner and to be all like socializing and such. It was nice. It was like, a good little situation. So, met a lot of really cool people. There's this one guy there that I think his name is Derek. He's like super popular on Instagram for talking to squirrels.
I wasn't ready. Hey, hold on. Okay. Okay. All right, LA. What's going on? You have my full undivided.
Yeah, and like he's not, he's like, I think.
How is he with people?
He's great. He's like really dope, like black guy. He's like,
okay.
Like he's I guess he's a content creator. I shouldn't say I guess he is. And he did a video where he was like feeding the squirrels on his like porch, and it like went viral. And so he's like continued to just not only like feed them and talk to them, but like name them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He'd be like giving them positive affirmations, talking about you are worthy and such.
Yeah. We care for you.
Yeah. So I met him, and it was for Athletic Greens. And so there was a lot of like
come through.
Yeah, right. So I met like a lot of dope people from their team, and then I also met again like all these like really interesting people that are like, okay, Athletic Greens sees athleticism, or like, people who should use Athletic Greens, everything from like the artist who's on stage performing to, the runner, right?
Right.
And yeah, it was just a really interesting room of people, and it was probably like 30 of us all together, and like 5 of them were like, I would say like 5 to 6, 7 of them were like from the team of Athletic Greens. So there wasn't a lot of us there like that were, creators. It was so interesting because when they talked about when we first like did our cheers and stuff, and the woman who invited me, Julie, she's like, well, I just have to say that when I invited all of you, no one asked me who was going to be there, because no one needed to feel validated by like someone else being there. And that's just like, I guess like an LA thing where it's like,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like ambassadors, influencers, and people, content creators like are like, I'm not going to be there unless it's like worth my time.
Right.
So I just thought that was really interesting. LA is hilarious. It's so funny.
LA is wild. Like the fact, like, I guess I'm not so much surprised at. No, I'm very surprised about the Squirrel guy, but like, the thing about not asking who all gonna be there is because like that's a staple in the Black community. Like,
who gonna be there, right?
But it ain't even so much about validation. It's like, do I even want to be around these motherfuckers? Like, do I want to come through and like sit there? Like, who all over there? Like, first of all, like,
and what are we wearing?
What are we wearing?
Right? Like,
right. But now that you out of LA, that's like, now it's not just a culture thing; it's an industry thing, and it come with all of these extra assumptions about your personality and stuff. So that's pretty cool that like Athletic Greens has enough cachet that it doesn't matter who's there, because people just want to be there to be with that brand. That's super dope.
Yeah. I also think that they intentionally invited people who wouldn't be like that. Like I think they're all about like
Yeah.
authentic interactions.
Okay.
Um
I love that.
yeah, so it was really interesting. There were all sorts of there was like this guy that surfs and this other person who also runs. There was people who like to golf. There were artists that
Mm,
were like on
mm,
tour. I don't know if you're interested if you're because like remember when I went to LA and I went to that brunch? It was a Mother's
mhm.
Day, it's Black Excellence Brunch. The guy Terrell who makes that, like he orchestrates
Yeah.
that, like he was there. It was just
It was like a whole little thing.
yeah, it was really interesting. And I'll say last thing I'll say about this is I definitely have social anxiety, but I really try to put myself out there as much as possible to just kind of overcome that anxiety and just kind of attack it. And so,
Mhm.
ooh, that I just get it is really about like, okay, who's gonna be like, what's the vibe? What do I wear? Who's gonna, it's like because you never know.
'Cause you never
Um,
know.
but when you show up, it's just kinda like running for me, where
Mhm.
or even just like an analogy to like 90% or 80% of the battle is just showing up, and then like the
Mhm.
workout kinda takes care of itself. That's kinda how I feel about social engagement sometimes, where I'm just like, I just need to get there. I just need to get out the
Yeah.
door and I just need to get there.
Yeah.
Because once I get there, it's super easy and it's all the things that I had in my head about shit and anxiety I have about socializing, it's like it goes away as soon as I'm just in it.
Right. Right. No, that makes sense. Listen, I'm happy that you are out there mingling in the spaces out there in LA. Like you making the city your own and stuff like that. So that sounds fire. I mean, I wish I was there. Like that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I'm
mhm.
no, I was just gonna say, like, speaking of events though, we
I know,
was
I would look, look, because our guest is here, so I was gonna
I guess is
say,
it.
let's let our guest in, do our thing with our
Uh,
guest, and then on when we come back, I would love to hear about the Nike event at the beach because you guys
listen,
got lit.
we gotta make it. We gotta make it fast. Like I said, I got so much alcohol still in me and so little food. Like my personality's gonna disappear in like 45
Okay.
minutes.
So we'll be right back with our guest, Jess Woods. She's an amazing runner. And we're just going to hear a little bit about her story. So give us a second and we'll be right back. All right. So we're back and our guest today is Jess Woods. Now, first of all, hey girl,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I was worried about my background, but you've got like clothes hanging in the back of yours. So I guess
I'm in my closet. Okay. I'm really working on my studio situation currently. This is the
Listen,
most insulated area.
Courtney
yeah.
like an up and coming rapper right now. She an independent artist. She got the booth in the closet. Next time we're gonna see her, she gonna have the McDonald cup joints
Oh my God.
stapled to the wall, the cup holders.
I'm just in like a classic Brooklyn apartment. So if you pivot even just a little bit, it's like there's the bathrooms.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it.
So first of all, Jess, I really wanted I wanted to have you on the podcast because we did Momentum together, which was the Nike Innovation pilot. And we wrapped that up recently. And I just felt like one, I want to know about you as a runner, but then also I wanted to just explore like this recent thing of like our paths crossing for the second time really because the first time was back in Chicago right before the marathon last year. And you interviewed me, which was really cool, and we, like, geeked out about trail. Um,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
so
I was
yeah.
that
Mhm.
way when I interview you, but we can we can turn the tables here.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess one, tell us a little bit about yourself, like a little intro and, like, where you're based and, like, some of the things that you're into right now.
Well, like I said, I'm based in Brooklyn. I'm based in New York.
Mhm.
I am a Nike running coach here, and I think I've been a Nike running coach for maybe 6 years now. I don't know. I keep
Wow.
saying 5, 6 years for a while, so I don't know what it is. And I'm also a coach for Brooklyn Track Club. I founded a little spin-off Brooklyn Trail Club. I coach people one-on-one through something called the Chaski Endurance Collective. And yeah, any little projects that or big projects that pop up along the way, like the Momentum pilot experience that we just did last year in Chicago, that was through Tempo Journal. So helping them interview both local and up to elite athletes before the Chicago Marathon. So anything running related that I can get my hands on, that's what we're up to.
I
Yes,
love the energy right there. That's where I'm in my life. Just if it's running, let me touch it. Let me do something with it.
exactly. Well, so for Momentum, what were your thoughts on like how was your experience? Because we had different teams and we so for those who don't know, Momentum was like it again, pilot experience and it was an app within an app. Like we were just getting information and I guess the
And like watching behavior, right? Like
yeah, exactly. It was behavior watching, analytics, insights on like how do we get the specifically women run like a woman's runner to get out and just like get a little bit more active and kind of break through that barrier of like I don't really know if I want to or what do I do and how do I warm up? How do I cool down? What are the different type of workouts that I can do? And you, me, and Chelsea, shouts out to her, and Morgan, we all had our own little group. But so, like, what was going on your end? How was that going for you?
yeah, I would say my team was a little interesting. Like the
Yeah.
way that it was broken down, it was kind of like call it beginner runners or just getting back to runners. Uh, the middle team, I feel like was more,
Stick
yeah,
to
we've
it.
run before, like let's just stick to it. And
Mhm.
then the idea of my group was more maybe advanced runners or like people that have been running for
Mm,
a while. And so it was interesting when you're piloting an app, like how do you play to all of these audiences, right? Because we did want to touch the beginner runner and those that might be a little hesitant to start running. We wanted this to be kind of like their safe space, their gateway drug to running. But it's like, how do you appeal to that crowd while also like making it okay for an advanced runner to show up and still get something out of it. So I think that was the interesting piece, like with my team specifically, is like how to keep that team engaged while also, playing to all ability levels.
Right.
mhm.
It was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of tasks to do every week, and I kind of like it was weird waking up the week after and being like, "Oh my god, I have nothing in Asana for me to do."
Yeah, I guess I wasn't expecting that part either. I let them know, like, a pilot experience, is it going to be loosey goosey or like it was
Mhm.
very like, no, we're going to test this thing, this thing, this thing, and like see what sticks.
Yeah. So, it was just
So
mhm.
I was gonna say, so this experiment or this pilot app was super interactive. Y'all really like mingled with the runners digitally.
Yeah. Like, my group was, like, 1,500 people, like, over,
Wow.
and it was, like, every day I had something to either suggest a run or ask a question or sometimes even, like, suggest different, Nike products too, where it's like, "Oh, I like, it's
Mm,
really hot outside. I love running in these shorts," or, "This sports bra is amazing, like, y'all should try it. It's also on sale," type stuff. And, like, even just, like, little tips and also shouting out the runners too, like, adding them and, like, applauding them. There's a little emojis on
mm,
there. Every time they finished a race, the momentum bot would be like, "Okay, so and so finished 5 runs, da da da." So you could like kind of give them some more kudos on that. So every day was
so
like, "All right, I wake up in the morning, what's going on momentum? Halfway through the day, what's going on momentum?" And then at the end of the day, did I miss anything? And like everyone's interacting with each other. They're taking photos and saying like, "Oh, I went on a run and this was my scenery." So
mm,
it was a lot. It was like WhatsApp meets NRC.
okay. Okay.
I mean,
Word. Go ahead.
as
I'm sorry.
Courtney, with Gumbo Fit and with myself with Brooklyn Track and Brooklyn Trail, like it's all about community, and that's what we know, that's what gets everyone coming back. Like, it's less about the run itself and it's more about feeling like you're a part of something, and the run just so happens to happen. And
Yeah.
Right.
so, that's what I guess Nike hypothesized is missing from the Nike running app right now. Like right now, you open it up, you go for a run, and you're done. There's not really a community piece to it. So that's what we were really focusing on, experimenting with and seeing if that's something that people actually wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
hmm No, that's super cool. So like, did did like Nike? How much like freedom did Nike give you? Were like the workouts, the runs, the apparel, the stuff that you said you had to suggest? Did Nike like have that in the queue? Was it like a script, or was you able to just be like, today feeling like let's say looking like a 30-minute run for y'all? Get out there and move. But today, hey, let's do a tempo. Let's try to do 2 miles fast. Like, how did that work out?
Look at him getting behind the scenes a little, but
You already know. Listen, we podcasting, okay?
it was, I would say, I had creative freedom with like the audio guided runs themselves. Like, I wrote the workout, was given direction as in like, okay, make this 30 minutes long and have it be a hill workout. But like, I was able to coach whatever I wanted to coach in that one and make it whatever workout I wanted to make it. But in terms of like the day to day, it was a little bit scripted, and that was my one piece of feedback was, it's hard because I know they had certain things that they wanted to test, so it had to be
Right.
scripted to a certain point. But for it to feel like it was mine and for it to feel like it was my community, I probably would have needed a little bit more creative freedom, and
Okay.
so it would seem more natural and authentic versus like, hey, my number one person that I wish I could run with is this person. Like, I would never pop into a chat and say that. Like, it's just not something that I would.
And
It's great. It's great, but it's just not maybe me. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and also as far as the work, because like we would record the audio guided runs, and then they would put it in, and then it was part of like the options. So you could be like, I want to do a 10-minute run, 30-minute run, whatever. But then they also started doing like daily missions. And so then they would take what we've done, and then it would be the suggested workout for the day. And then sometimes, so
Mhm.
then so as a coach, you can kind of chime in and be like, okay, today's mission is this, and it would be good for this. But then in addition, why don't you try and get some stretches in, you know? Um,
Right.
it was very interesting. And it was just one of those things where like it was such a small team where you and I, it's like we experience something that other people just won't.
Right.
Or like we just did something super, super unique and niche, specifically within Nike, where I was like, I didn't even realize there was a Nike innovation team.
yeah. But
Mhm.
the end of the day, you figure, I don't know what their barometer of success was, but I feel like even if you just took away one thing, like, okay, this one thing we saw people responded to, and now we can implement that one thing into the actual Nike running app, then I would say that's a success. Like all you needed was really one thing, I think.
Sorry, I thought I muted myself.
Just, is it finished or is it done?
Yo,
You know what I'm
Matthew made
saying?
me a smoothie and I tried to finish it. I was so certain I
Real
muted
quick.
myself. Um, my bad. um, yeah. Yeah, it is true where it's just like I think there's so many things that they could have grabbed from, because I was also thinking about the fact of like, yes, we're looking at the runners interaction, but then they're also looking at us as coaches, like how are we responding to the prompts? How do we like it or dislike it, and are we able to keep up? So yeah, definitely just wanted to touch on that because I just really enjoyed one working with you, and then also just the fact that like I personally don't have anyone to talk to about it because no one else was there. It was just me, you, Chelsea, Morgan, Emily. Like it was a team of
Okay.
5.
Wow. Wow.
And there was only because like even Morgan was our leader, so it was like Chelsea, Jess, and me.
So, and then each of you really only dealt with because you said, well, it was like beginner, intermediate, and then experienced runners
Yeah.
and stuff. So, Courtney, you said you had like 1,000 something runners. You dealt with those 1,000 something runners on your own. Just didn't come in and interact with them, and vice versa with the other. Was it Shelby? Is it? What was her name?
Chelsea. Yeah.
Chelsea. Yeah.
I could only see my team. And so
Got
no
you.
one else could see, and, like, Morgan, since she was, like, our team leader and worked on, like, the Nike side, she could bounce from but she never bounced into mine to, like, help me.
Hmm.
She bounced into it to see what was going on, but she was never, like, it was definitely, like, I was the coach for my team, and then I
Mhm.
could
Okay.
not pop over to Jess's team and be like, "Oh, what is she talking about?" Um, which I feel like I personally, I'm realizing more and more that I'm a collaborative worker. So I
Mm.
love the idea of like kind of being like, okay, what are you guys doing? You know, like what Jess got a package.
She got
Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. The only oh god, I'm not
listen,
smart.
real runners living real lives.
Real
Go
lives,
ahead.
okay?
Listen.
Living that New York lifestyle.
I'm not even gonna say the name because I'm not sponsored by them, but like they worked with my Brooklyn Track Club this year, and so my
Mhm.
apartment turns into like import export of this recovery juice company, and that is 24 packages downstairs. So we're just gonna tell him to leave it,
Leave it
leave
there.
Leave it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
um,
Listen, I love it, but Courtney already knows. She's experienced this. Listen, I know when you moved, they was like happy to have a lobby back.
Look, the way I used to get box water delivered and, like, the one time like, when I was doing the marathon cohort last year, we I just remember getting so many Nike boxes that, like, it filled my entire foyer, and I don't even have a big one, like, I lived in a walk up, so it's like there was no space for anything, and so
it.
I was consistently trying my best to just clear space so that other people in my apartment wouldn't complain about me.
Well, I guess that's one of the benefits to being single. I'm just annoying myself. I'm not annoying anyone else here. So
So with that, Brooklyn, you're out here. I kind of learned that you used to be in corporate and then you decided to quit and you turned into a runner, a coach. Like what was that? What was the catalyst for that change?
I was in corporate. I was a material science engineer, and
What?
Yeah.
I know I didn't exactly practice that engineering. I was a broadcast operations engineer at NBC Universal, um, and it it was great. I didn't hate it, but I can't say that
Mm,
like, you know, news 24/7 is my passion.
Mhm.
So
right.
running was always a part of my life. It was a hobby, and then it turned into a little bit more than a hobby. I started off pacing for Nike Run Club back when it was like not what it is today. Like it
Yeah.
was, the various stores leading runs out of
Yeah.
their store, right? And so I was a pacer on the weekend for Nike Run Club, maybe like back in 2012 or so. Uh and then it turned into, how it is whenever you're out there on your long run, you spend a lot of time training for your first marathon, that long run experience, and being
Yes.
out for 16, 18, 20 miles. Like you start to bond with whomever you're out there with, right? Like you're
Right.
going through it together. And so like I don't know what Nike saw in me, but maybe they saw, out on those long runs as I was pacing those long runs. Kind of the pacers turn into like your satellite coaches out there. And
Mhm.
that's what I tell the pacers today is like you're the one spending all the time with them. You're the satellite coach, like you're more than just a pacer. And
All right.
so maybe after a couple of seasons of that, they eventually asked me to come on as a coach. And I was still doing it on the side. Like I was still at NBC Universal, coaching a Nike run in the morning and rushing to work and taking a call in the bathroom while I'm trying to like change into my business casual clothes and then doing it again at night. But then just enough opportunities were kind of presenting themselves that I felt like it was meant to be, I'm very much more of it's a sign kind of person. And time, like I was 29, 30 years old, like
Yeah.
not married, no kids, like what's stopping me from trying this thing? And if it doesn't work, I could always go back. So,
Right.
so yeah, about maybe like 7 or so years ago, made the switch full time.
Yeah.
Was coaching at an indoor treadmill studio called Mile High Run Club. So that was kind of like the, I guess, full-time gig because no one ever becomes a running coach for the money. Like, spoiler alert, I don't know anyone.
True that.
Look.
And in New York, you're not a real New Yorker unless you got like 5 different side gigs. So yeah, we pieced it together. We pieced it together. We made it work. And instead of, I'm just going to do this for a little bit and then go back to corporate America, it turned into the total opposite of I'm going to do this for as long as humanly possible. As long as I could pay my rent and my bills while being a running coach and doing what I love, like we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's spun into so many different opportunities too. Cause I mean, even you were saying like you were interviewing people last year before the marathon and talking to elites and talking to community leaders. We did momentum together. I see you doing all sorts of stuff. And now you've started your own trail, like run club.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to, I know what it was like when I was trying to get into trail running, and it is not easy in New York, right? Or maybe it's intimidating in New York. Like, where the heck are you going to go trail running?
Right. I don't, New York is not giving me trails.
Not
So,
giving
like,
me trails.
please
No,
explain.
it turns out New York is more than Manhattan. So
Okay.
we do have trail, and
I didn't even know y'all had trees, to be perfectly honest, outside of Central Park. So let's go. Huh. Wait a minute, are all the trails in Central Park?
Nah, bro, you got to go outside the city. Like you got to go outside the city in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see, and what I try and share with everybody once a month. We only go once a month, but I don't know how I could do more than once a month because it's a production, right? So once a month, I take New Yorkers out of New York and show them the trails and adventures and nature that we have access to that they might not realize that they have access to. And I always pick a trail that's accessible via public transportation because like the misconception is like you need a car, right? And I don't ever want the trails to feel inaccessible, right? Like the
I love that.
outdoors should very much be accessible to all. And so there's plenty of trailheads like right off of either Metro North or Long Island Railroad, or even if you take a subway up to 175th Street and go across the George Washington Bridge, we have a trail that's right across in New Jersey. So there's plenty of stuff that you can explore without the need for a car, can hop on public transit, and varying degrees of difficulty of if you just want to dabble in trail running and see if you like it, or if you want to go all in and start investing in this and get the hydration pack and trail shoes and
all that
we got. The East Coast trails aren't easy. It's not nice. I'm sure you're going to see some lovely trails now on the West Coast in LA. Like, they're so much nicely groomed, and over on the East Coast, it's like rocks and scrambling and just like, so we got all kinds of varying degrees of difficulty here, but I just love like sharing that with others because I know how hard it was or how weird it was for me to get into it. And so, if I can help people kind of like build their Rolodex of options and then hoping that they then go out on their own and feel confident enough to then go out and explore on their own. That's what I
How
consider.
how has it been received? Getting your runners out of the concrete jungle and into the wilderness.
We've expanded into we had our first overnight sleepaway camp last year.
What?
Hold on.
No, adults love sleepaway camps, it turns out. So
Let's go.
right? Like it's amazing to see, and myself included, it is amazing to see New Yorkers out of New York and just like all of a sudden like different humans we become.
Right.
I just love seeing people happy at the end of the trip. Like we're all enjoying like the post trail beer or food. You're just that I told you it's less about the run itself. It's all for me. I like the after the run part, the
Yeah.
community part, right? Like just looking around and seeing everyone like hanging out in the parking lot, tailgating, waiting for the train to come, and everyone's just kind of like sitting around eating pizza, beer, talking. Like that's the good stuff for me.
Love it.
It's like seeing people come together who wouldn't normally come together, maybe, and
Hmm.
like going through an experience together, and then just like I don't know, enjoying the after the run part.
Vegging out kind of a little bit together.
Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
well, and you're
And
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to talk about Jess's Instagram, but I feel like you have a
Oh wait,
question
okay, I
about
got one more
trail.
trail question. One more
Yeah.
trail question. I'm sorry. So okay, so we're outside of New York City. We're outside of the city. We're in the wilderness. Do you guys have like any animals you need to stay away from? Is like New York known for like wolves? Do y'all have any bears out there? Like, or is it just like really aggressive Italian squirrels? Like,
Listen, we have some nature. We've got some nature. So this weekend, we're going to a trail that has a lake up top, and that one has some
Wow.
nature. We got that one. We'll definitely see some snakes. They claim there's snapping turtles. I haven't seen one there, but we've
okay,
got snakes. I've only seen a bear once, knock on wood. But we definitely got some snakes, sunbathing, deer. Definitely overpopulated with deer. But
oh
yeah,
wow,
knock on knock on wood, nothing.
Crazy.
nothing crazy. Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Everybody signed a waiver.
There we go, right?
So you said you go once a month to trail?
Yeah,
Okay. And so then what is your schedule like with everything else that you do? Because I know you said is it how do you pronounce
I
it?
know. Chaski?
Chaski.
Yes.
Is that for kids? Is that for adults?
With Chaski.
Chaski's the endurance collective that I'm a part of, and that's where I do my one-on-one coaching. So, like
Ah,
the virtual side of coaching, giving everyone their personalized training plans, watching what they actually run, and it's all virtual. Though a lot of the folks are in New York, and I can happily see them. But like we've got folks from Ecuador, from the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, from
Wow.
like similar to momentum, right? Like places where you can't normally maybe get an in-person community or an in-person coach. So yeah, that Chosky is where I coach people. But that's virtual. That's the one-on-one coaching with the personalized training plans and checking in and making sure they're good to go. And Brooklyn Track Club, we've got speed work on Tuesdays, we've got tempo on Thursdays, long run on Saturdays, and then happily, Nike has brought back some in-person runs. And so I don't coach the Wednesday ones, but we have very casual community runs where it's a social run, it's a fun run. Mine is on Friday mornings out of my
Okay.
run. And then Nike has a long run series leading up to the marathon this year. So every Saturday, coaching as many of those as I can leading up to the marathon. So,
mm.
When do you find time to train for your own things?
uh, so I work when people aren't working, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like coaching on the bookends of the
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
And so then I run when people are working. I feel like
Midday. Well, so on your Instagram, I see how you're like, just making something hard something that's already hard even harder by running midday. So this is
yeah.
why, because you're coaching in the morning, coaching in the evening, and you kind of have to do your runs kind of high noon or
Oh
around the
wow.
hottest time of the day, it seems like.
Yeah, but I justify it by saying like I try and train for one ultra a year. Like
Okay.
for me it's too much to do more than that.
Yeah.
Or like
Mm.
training personally and coaching. So I try and just do one a year. And so I justify it by, training for an ultra is all about learning how to suffer and being able to handle suffering and being able to suffer more. And so just making hard things harder was the theme this year because my race is at altitude and I can't train at altitude. So
Oh
what I can
wow.
just practice making hard things harder and, being okay with suffering. So we've been purposely running, at the
Yeah.
worst part of the day, just
Let
to
me ask you.
suffer, purposeful suffering.
I have so many questions.
Got you. Let me ask you, have you ever tried like one of those altitude masks?
I, um, I thought about like the altitude tent. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't say plan on running at altitude often. So these are investments. And so I'm like, I'm not going to spend $2,500 on an altitude tent to acclimate to like do the, I'm not an elite runner, right? I am like a mid to the back of the pack, chasing cutoff times. Like we're just trying to finish.
Right, right, right.
Uh, so no, I didn't do the mask or the tent.
I didn't know
And
they even had a tent. That's wild.
yeah, you basically like sleep high, train low. So you acclimate your body to sleeping with less oxygen for like 8, 10 hours a day. And then yeah.
Sleeping in
Sounds
a
like a
tent,
tent, but okay.
Yep.
bro.
It's a tent that like goes over your bed and sucks the oxygen out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a kink. We not, that's wild. That's wild.
That sounds dangerous. Like, I feel like I would
Yeah,
be scared of dying, like
no, I would
sucking
not be able to sleep.
oxygen out of the area that I sleep where I'm not conscious. Like, that's crazy.
That's next level, man. Shout
That
out to
is.
any runners who do that. If y'all do that, let us know. Like, let us know. Send us a pic of your DM us a pic of your tent.
Right. Well, so you said one ultra a year. What is first of all, what have you ran and what is your favorite? And also what are you doing this year since you're doing altitude and you said you don't do that a lot. So where are you going?
Yeah, definitely don't do that a lot. More of a
Mm.
desert runner. I've done Javelina 100, I think about 5 times,
What is that
which is
again?
Mm.
Javelina 100. It's in
Have
Arizona.
Okay.
Um, so I've done that one maybe
100K,
times,
100 miles.
miles.
Oh my God. You a whole ass runner.
That's the thing is that people don't realize that this ultra marathon running, it has levels to it. Like, and you are at
That's
the senior level because there's 4
Yeah,
levels.
yeah.
yeah, like definitely starts at like the 50K distance. Like that is still an ultra, like 50K, 50 mile, 100 mile. But then just as soon as
100K, 100 mile.
yeah, just as soon as
Okay. I just
you're
want
doing
everyone to understand. Because, sometimes I feel like people don't know. And I'm like, you are literally at the top level of ultra running.
but there's always people doing more extreme things than you is the thing.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
then you start to get into like the multi-day races or like
Yeah.
the ones like across mountain ranges in Europe and like so it gets more and more just when you think like
I'm waiting on one of my homies, Rosalie, to start telling us about these 3, 4 day races she about to
yeah,
start doing. Because I know eventually she got to level up from ultra.
Yeah. Are you
I
are you satisfied with the 100 miler? Like, okay, have you done a 50K? Have you done 100? Have you worked your way up? Or did you just say, I want to do 100 miles?
yeah, of course. Yeah, I definitely worked my way up and discovered that I'm definitely not like the fastest runner And so
Mhm.
I figured once you get to like the 100-mile distance, people stop asking you, what was your pace? What was your time? They're just like happy that you did it. And so
Right.
I really like the distance or like last year, the multi-day race. I I like them because I think it evens the playing field. So for someone like me who is a middle to the back pack runner, 100 like there's so many things that can happen over the course of 100 miles, so many um variables, so many uncontrollables, so many like mistakes strategically that you could make that could then like, there's so many elite runners
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
no matter how fit you are, drop out of these 100-mile races. So
yeah.
I kind of like how, someone like me, as long as you are strategic about it and you can problem solve and you have enough
Mhm.
like stubbornness, you can potentially complete these same races that like the elite of the elite are doing.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
that's why I like the distance. It's kind of like the dumber the better for me right now. Like if it's that's what I discovered in this round of training. Like
Done with it.
you tell me to just go out for your standard like 6, 7, 8 mile run. I'm like, "Ah, that sucks." But if it's like, all right, I want you to make sure you cover 2,000 feet of elevation. And then like you could tell me to like do somersaults for 2 miles. And I'd be like, all right, let's figure this out. Like if it's weird and it involves like some problem solving and some thinking about it and some strategy, I like it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Because when we met, I was telling you I was training for the 50K.
Yeah.
Didn't make it to it because I ended up running a 5K in LA and hurt my hip because I was doing the
Uh,
most. And it was like, and so I learned my lesson there. But I agree where I'm not the fastest runner, but I really enjoy running and I just like being outside in general. So anything that kind of gets me out for long periods of time and also that leveling of the playing field, I think specifically in the context of like being a woman is really satisfying because women really succeed at these like ultra
Mhm.
distances. And like and it's just fun to just be able to do something that is even like because you get these people who are like I'm super fast, but it's just like okay, but have you run 50 miles? Like you have
Right.
some sort of a bragging right as well. Not that that's the only thing that matters, but it's like, yeah, this shit is hard. It's strategic. It's not just like about your physical ability. It really is about like, are you stubborn? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a good team around you? And are you that type of person that's just gonna freaking do it and keep
Right, 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 right.
um and it definitely resonates with me.
I swear it's not like a masochistic thing, like we just enjoy suffering. There's more to
Mhm.
it. There's more
Yeah.
to that.
The suffering though, I think helps me a little bit. I think running in
Mm.
general is a little bit of it's like a running is a little bit of like ego death. It's a little
Got
bit
you.
of a
It's
little
humbling. Yeah.
yeah, which I appreciate.
At
It's not
all ends of the spectrum. Like whether you like
Yeah.
like doing a 50K, 100K marathon, like even like for me right now, trying to restarting a training cycle for the umpteenth time this year and just realizing like just how much fitness I've lost since my last training cycle. It's like it's so humbling. Like I was running with Mike and Aaron yesterday on the lakefront and they was like having like first of all a 20-minute conversation uh about running and they'll sometimes try to include me and I was giving them two yeah no yeah bro yup like that's all I like there was no sentences coming out because I'm like and my ego was not dying. I just wanted to keep up with them and cross with them. And in order to do that, I had to sacrifice conversation.
Yeah.
Where in the past, like that pace, we could have been singing songs the entire time, with no problem. So that's what running is.
Mhm. So Jess, are you with your track club, how many, what is like the programming for that? Cause I know people, it's something that you have to pay. It's like a membership thing, right? And
Yeah.
so, how does that structure work? And like, if someone is interested in like popping up on you guys, is that possible? Like how, and what is the experience you're giving to everyone? Cause you have 3 things a week, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot.
And
Mm,
like, so okay, so I'll backtrack a little bit. So Steve Finley is the founder of Brooklyn Track Club, and he comes up with the, I would say, the overall training plan, right? Like what we're doing each
Mhm.
week. And it is capped at, first it was capped at 500 runners, then 550, and it keeps growing and growing. So I think we're at about 550 right now. And there are myself coaches. There's probably like 4 coaches, including myself, and then Steve Finley. And so
wow.
the experience that we give them, like I said, we do track on Tuesday, but there's actually 3 different practices they could choose from on Tuesday. There's like Tuesday morning, and we have concurrent sessions going on at the East River and at McCarran in Brooklyn. So they've got like 2 options that they could go to at 7 a.m. They've got another one they could go to at 7 p.m. Like just trying to make sure that we're offering stuff for everybody, right? Whether you're in
Hmm.
Manhattan, you're in Brooklyn, AM, PM. And then I always tell people, like, I didn't believe that it was going to work at first. Like, how do you prevent people from showing up that aren't like paying members? But I would
Yeah.
say 99% of the time it works, right? Because you come, and I always encourage people to like check out a session first before becoming a member. But you come, you see what it's all about, and you don't get the community piece unless you then become the paying member, right? So like
Mm.
Right.
if you just want to show up and come to a track workout and not pay, like that's on you. But then what you're missing out on is like we're on this app called Halo, and that's where all of the like post track and chat happens. That's where all the sidebar, like, oh, let's organize a Friday morning run to coffee. Let's like go
Mm,
rock climbing Wednesday night. That's where like all that stuff happens. And that's where
Yeah.
you find out about, the trail events or like races that people are signing up for. So that's where like the community comes
yeah.
play. And
Yeah.
so um, we're trying to offer more than just, the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday practices. There's the community piece to it as well. And hopefully
Hmm.
you can find whatever it is you're looking for inside the community, whether you're training for like a 1 mile indoor race up to a 100-mile trail run. Like hopefully we got something in there for everybody.
Real.
Yeah. That's amazing. I know, well, I mean, I would say Brooklyn Track Club is a really good example for elevating a track club to make it something where people can get compensated for their work and are like opting into like a membership model, because there aren't many examples of a membership model that I know of within the as like a running community.
Yeah.
There's almost an expectation for it to always be free in some way.
Hmm.
But from what you all are really offering something special, and track is so technical that it makes sense that that is something that like, yeah, like you should pay for it. But it's good to know that you can still pop in if you aren't a member yet, because I know I was in New York like sometime last year, and I was like, oh, I want to. Everyone was like, go to Brooklyn Track Club, and I was like, but I'm not a member. Like I don't know, like I don't know, I don't want to pay yet. I don't know what the
Hmm.
situation is. So now I know, like, and also I know you, so I can easily just text you. But for anyone else that's like just in LA and in New York looking for a track workout, you can at least like come and see what the vibe is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ian, I know what, like, you have, I feel like you had a question.
You feel like I have something? No, I
Yeah.
mean, Jess has been excellent
He's
with
like, this is
explaining
enough for one
everything.
day. This is
You said what?
he said this is enough for one day. I can't.
You're so, but I would like, the thing about you, Jess, though, is that like I think you're like one of the people that one of the first people I met in running as a coach that's like really doing so many different things.
Right.
Because you have your personal training, you have the track club, you have the trail, but then you're also doing your own stuff. And so it's like it is kind of wild to see how you move because I'm like, oh my gosh, like you live and breathe running. And even on your
Yeah.
social and you're hilarious. So like your social media is hilarious because you're like you were talking the squirrel post about the
The
squirrels
scooting.
heat dumping
Yeah.
onto the sidewalk. They're like spread eagle onto the side with their stomachs on, and
Heat jumping.
yeah, and she posted this article about how like it's like I don't know, it was New York Times. I was just like, if you see squirrels doing this, don't worry, they're okay. They're just heat dumping because it's hot outside. And then she posted a picture of her runners doing the same thing.
They're fine. They're fine. You don't have to call anybody. They're just heat dumping.
That is hilarious. Does that actually work? Like, can we do this? Because like I have no AC in my store, and I might just need to be spread eagle out in front of it sometimes.
I mean, that's what dogs do, right? They like sploot down on the
Damn, I never even knew that.
Find a cool surface and just lay your belly down on it,
Just lay out there. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Well,
Yeah.
that's what you guys will see walking up to the last lap. During these hotter months of the summer is, and yeah, just grab it from the back. But I love that. I love that. I mean, no, that is pretty cool to know that you know are able to do this balancing act. I tweeted something yesterday. It was like the reason I'm basically constantly restarting my thing is because I'm doing so many running related things that it's keeping me from actually focusing on running, not including personal. Like I'm a father myself, so 2, 3 children, like just constantly moving around those responsibilities and shuffle them to what they need to do and where they need to be. And it's like trying to make time for running is so hard. And it's not even so much as making like physical time, but it's making like mental and emotional time for it because like can I get up at 6 a.m. in the morning? I'm not doing anything at that time. But yes, when I open my eyes and I'm like, oh my God, yesterday was so fucking crazy. I just need another minute, like here. And that minute turns into like another 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, it's very real. It's very real. So it's not like, all sunshine and rainbows, of course. So like this year I was pushing my long run to Mondays most of the time because and I'm not complaining. I love my job. I'm very grateful for my job. But when you have 300 people show up to long run on Saturday, and then like it's just emotionally draining, like all the energy that
Yeah,
you put into it, and like the
yeah.
one-on-one talks afterwards. Like I didn't physically do anything. I didn't like run the whole long run with them, but just like the hours of being out there. And then it's like I have to like secretly a closet introvert where I then need to like go home into my dark space and like watch
Recharge.
true crime and like murder and then recharge and then maybe do my own run another day. Like it's yeah, running can be right, coaching can be just emotionally and physically draining sometimes.
Yeah.
So I feel yeah.
Mm.
That's why I just do one race a year. It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
Um,
Listen.
I well, I was just gonna say that I want to know a couple things because I want to implement some questions for our guests, and one is when do you feel most strong, and also how are you recovering?
Well, yeah, I guess I just mentioned recovering is like sitting on the couch watching murder, but
Are
how do
you
I
a stretcher though? Do you go and get massages? How do you take care of your body? Do you go swimming? I guess that's not recovery, but do you like sit in a sauna, steam room?
um big fan of I try and do my physical therapy.
Okay.
I try and go to physical therapy not just when you're injured, but like leading up to a race too, because they'll do the manual work on you, but also give you exercises to
Yeah.
and stuff so that you don't get hurt. So I do, and I'm very grateful for the help that I have around me. So I do try and go to physical therapy. Big fan of the compression boots because you can just do that laying on the couch. But what I've learned this year is the fueling piece. I always thought I ate enough. But I don't know if like my body has changed as I get older or it changed post COVID or what the hell is going on. But this round of training has been very trying and dealing with like some low energy levels and what's going on. So just realizing that maybe I just need to eat more all the time, just basically all the time. So there's been a little bit more focus on fueling this time. And I've been kind of bad about the massages, but the gym that I belong to, like they just got a cold plunge. Like, oh, yes. I know lots of different recovery modalities out there, and they've gotten like fancier and fancier, but I just feel like there's something to be said about sitting in an ice bath or sitting in a cold bucket of water. Like it, honestly, it all comes down to whatever works for you. And even if there's no science behind it and it's a placebo effect, if it helps you feel good, then keep doing it. Doing it.
Okay. So then when do you feel most strong?
I feel most strong. And it's like a little cliche because they made a TikTok audio about it. I feel most strong like when I'm in the woods, when I'm like, you have that. And I should probably go to therapy for it because it's a little bit dissociating. But when you're in the woods and you have those moments of no one can contact you and you forget about maybe your responsibilities for the day and you're just focused on one singular task at hand of like, making it to, if it's during a race, making it to the next aid station, or if you're just focusing on like making it to the summit of a trail. I just feel the most strong when, I'm in the woods and soaked in sweat and like focusing on where we're going, making sure we don't get lost, like just focusing on a singular task at hand and kind of forgetting about everything else for those few hours. That's when I feel most strong, I would say.
Love that. Amazing.
Yeah, super dope.
It was like, I feel the most pretty when I'm covered in dirt in the woods. I'm like, oh God.
Not the most pretty.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like it's like long overdue on my end because I just, since knowing you from last year and knowing that you're into trail, I just like was like, oh, she's fucking cool. So it's great. And then to be able to work with you has been such a pleasure. And so yeah, I'm excited to kind of like next time I'm in New York, like linking up with you. Eventually we are going to get a trail run in.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're definitely my ultra distance inspiration.
Thank you.
Love that. I would definitely be interested in being pointed to some directions of some New York trails. Like, I love New York. I love coming to New York. Yeah, I enjoy the city, the hustle and bustle, but to see the wilderness side of New York would be like fucking fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow Brooklyn Trail Club, get some FOMO going this weekend. Follow along where we're going.
Awesome.
Love it. Is it overnight this weekend or is it just the trail run?
No, not this weekend. No.
Okay. Cool, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jess. And we'll definitely be having you on again later. When is your race? Because I love talking to people after a race.
Next weekend.
Oh.
Yep.
100 miles. And you said you're going to, where is it that you're going?
It's in Leadville, Colorado.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow. In the mountains.
Yeah, definitely in the mountains. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, good luck.
Where's Colorado?
You know where Denver, Colorado, bro.
Oh shit. Okay, got you.
You know exactly where it is.
Oh no, man. Colorado's not one of them places.
That.
Listen.
I don't know.
Listen, in my mind, Nevada was Colorado. In my
Nevada?
mind, like, that's what I was like, oh yeah, that's right by Courtney. Like, say less. Yeah, that's right there. A little bit
Yeah.
right.
Definitely come out. Look, if you come out to LA, would
What's
love to hit a trail out here as well.
Of
yeah,
course.
you do you wanna share IG? Do you want
Oh.
to do all of that? Especially if you like super funny on there. I need something on my timeline to laugh at. Let's go.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm funny or just self-deprecating, but it's JESLYNNYC, Jesslyn NYC.
So
That's follow me personally. If you want one-on-one coaching, that's over on Chaski Endurance Collective. If you want to
what does
follow,
Chaski means? Is that like Russian for spunk?
oh, see, now I really am going to mess up the story. Now that you better cut off this podcast right now. It had, oh, I'm going to butcher it, but they were messengers by foot in Ecuador, like covering ultra distances to.
Oh shit, it's an Ecuadorian word.
Yes, yes.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
But we're going to save that for part 2 because I'm going to butcher the story that I should very much know.
Okay.
I think I
Okay.
heard about that because they're like, and they wouldn't wear shoes. I'm pretty sure
Ooh.
they didn't have shoes on either. Or there's like to this day, there's certain people, and maybe there's this is also like Ecuador,
Oh shit.
also in
Karen was telling
parts
me
of
about them.
Africa,
Yeah.
where like they are messengers and they run from place to place, but they don't wear shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Karen was telling me about them. That's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Chaski,
I don't
but
know if
like
it's the Chaski
it's a group of people that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to rewrite history now on the end of this.
Let's go. Let's go. Feelings, no facts. Like, let's go.
Awesome. We always tell our listeners you can do the research. We just start that we give you a bit of inspiration and curiosity to take it from there, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do your Googles.
So look it up. Yep.
That's CHASKIIS.
This
Chaski. Yep.
CHASKI.
bring phonics back to the schools, y'all. He just sounded that word all the way out. You know, she ain't never written that word a day in her life. Bring phonics back to the schools, yo.
That's good.
All right. Well,
Listen,
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and good luck on your race.
Thank you.
Yes, and make sure to follow her, y'all. Jes Woods out here in New York. Run with her Brooklyn Track Club. Go on a trail with her. Get personally trained by her. Also, just be entertained by her. Okay, so all of the things.
All of it.
All the things.
All right. Yo,
that was fire.
Right, Jess is a good time. Jess is a really good time.
Yeah. You know what? Listen, I mean, I am a stickler for really good dry humor, and I feel like Jess, like this was a really mini conversation with a lot of intention, but I feel like she is a person of that school of thought, like some good dry humor, which I just love. Like that's my favorite thing. Yeah. I would love to talk to her. Like just let's chat it up. Let's be friends. Like let's do that.
Yeah, Jess is lit. I remember, so what I didn't want to say this when she was on, but I keep thinking, I don't keep thinking, but I remember when I think back to when I first met her, I definitely thought that she was like a super fast runner and like elite athlete type coach.
Mm-hmm.
Cause her calves were huge. And I was like, you don't get calves like that.
You don't, like
just from nowhere. Like, you know, she's built.
I wasn't expecting that being the reason. Okay.
I just remember
but that's a real thing.
Goddamn, yeah. So to hear though that like she is a lot more like me than I even kind of realized, especially with just not being like the fastest runner. But then like because I was definitely in that mindset of just like, shit, I'm not the fastest, but I'll run the longest. Watch me do it. Yeah. So yeah, definitely thank you, Jess, for joining us. And now on to the third act, as Ian just said before we hop back on. We need to talk about what happened this week, because Nike hosted what was it? You tell. I wasn't there. I'm in
So
LA.
okay, so hold on, wait, because I didn't do my recap. So I'm doing my
Oh,
recap.
my bad. My bad. My
I'm gonna
bad. My bad.
recap my situation.
Yeah.
You feel me? So bam, I want to say my week basically started last Saturday with the because we were talking about recovery with Jess. And so last app powered by Nike, we had our recovery day party situation. It was really cool. I had the recovery booth sitting out up under the tent in the shade. DJ Gemini Jones came through, kept the vibes, going right. She even switched it to a little bit of lo-fi when Nubia came through and did the restorative yoga. She was supposed to do 30 minutes. I think she ended up doing like 45 to an hour. I don't even know, but it was just like really good, solid stretching. Ended up being hot yoga because the humidity and just the degrees was off the charts. Ruby's Tacos came through with some fire quesadillas. I didn't want any tacos, so we had quesadillas like the entire time, like carne asada, el pastor, quesadillas de hongos. So quesadillas with mushrooms and stuff like that. Like that was the vegetarian option, and it was amazing. It was really cool. All Belly's juices and smoothies came through. Belly's
Nice.
is in Pilsen. They've been there for like I think like 4 or 5 1,000 years. I don't remember. But Alex is a runner with seven. Like she comes through with 7 on Sundays, Tortugas, all of them, and she has juice and smoothie store in Pilsen, and her juices was fire. The watermelon one was so refreshing. Oh my god, it was so good. She had like this little green one with some ginger in it. It was spicy, but I knew it was doing the work. Okay,
Right.
like I
That's when you
felt,
know it works. Yeah. It's
you
effective.
know, it was it was really good. It was a really good situation. But I mean, everybody had good. We had a raffle. I will say probably turnout was a little bit less than what I thought because we sold out. Like, well, I mean, we didn't sell out, but like the amount of attendance was at capacity. Basically, all of the spots that I allotted, filled up. But all those people didn't end up showing up, and I think it was
Mhm.
because of the humidity. Like the heat was freaking crazy. Like
Okay.
we was like hanging out, chilling in the shade, sweating. But the people who came out still enjoyed themselves, had a really good time. Did some raffles, people had fun.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, and then like fast forward, like the week was pretty chill, pretty cool. Last Wednesday night, I don't know when it's coming out, but Wednesday night, you know what I'm saying? What's it?
On the
August
10th.
10th.
Yeah.
You feel me? I I was like, Nike came through with the Chicago Run Crew celebration party at like Shore Club at basically at North Avenue Beach. First of all, the place was mad cute. Okay, it was beautiful. It was giving me reception vibes. Okay, it was giving
Yeah.
me the place we need to be after I get my vows, make the whole room cry and all of that. Say I do, like that's what it was giving me. But like everybody was in there, family style, run too hard. Of course, Gumbo was there. Tortugas, 3 Run 2. Nico from 3 Run 2 was the host of it. I mean, I Edge, the Ren Runners, West Town Brew Crew. Like it was like a bunch of us. It had to have been like 200 people there. I don't even know. It was a lot. It was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot. And I mean, they had the drinks flowing. I mean, it was like open bar for a few hours. I was sipping pina coladas all night. He was walking around with the actual coconut at some point. Like it was amazing. Aaron was body rolling to Dirty Dancing, Time of Our Lives and shit like that. Like it was literally like an entire event last night, and it was just amazing for the Chicago Run Crews. I mean, unfortunately, there was a few that wasn't there, that I would have loved to have had there, but like the people who were there, we just had such a great time. So we started it off with a little run because, of course, Got to get your
Naturally.
run in. All these runners get together. We
You gotta
ran north
run.
on lakes on the along the beach and stuff like that. They had a 2 mile, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 mile option. I ran the 4 because I didn't want to drink as much.
Mhm.
And the more you run, the less alcohol it takes to get tipsy. Like I've done the research, that's what it is. And so I got lit. My bae got litter than I did. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a good time. You know, after the party, like 7 on Sundays was last person to leave. Like we was the last people to leave. Like Paragon and all of them, like they was like loading up the U-Haul while we standing there shouting at each other, doing WWF references and shit like that, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan references. Ended with a beautiful, beautiful dip in Lake Michigan
Wow.
before we all finally packed it up and went home. But it was, man, it was a beautiful experience. Like it
Love
was
that.
what the city freaking needed.
Ooh, yes. Wow. I mean, I seems like that's the first time they've done that
Yeah, yeah, and you
at
know
that
what?
on that level.
Yeah, yeah, I really feel like, man, like I really, cause like 3 Run 2, like they own the post marathon party situation. Like they've been doing it for years. It's been a staple. People have loved it, enjoyed it. So 3 Run 2 knows how to throw a party, and I'm pretty sure, like collaborating with Nike, getting what I'm saying, and that little Nike shmoney, you know what I'm saying, was able to help them. And listen, the restaurant was basically an outdoor restaurant. Okay, it had a little situation with a roof and all of that, where the dance floor was and everything. Then they had like the out on the to the right of or to the north side of the restaurant. They had like an outdoors place with a little tiki bar situation. It was really nice. But then on the southern end of the restaurant, they had like it looked like Love Island over there. I was looking for the confessionals and what I'm saying, the toxic relationships. Like they had sand over
I
there.
love
The
Island.
the, the caravanas and all of that. Like it was super nice. It was an amazing experience. And yeah, we had a lot of fun and drank a lot. I will say though, I did get my last 2 drinks of the night after they cut off the free, because I mean we was probably racking it up. Like we was racking the Nike bill up. They was like open bar. We was like say less.
Say
And
that.
so I missed last call. And so I was like, okay, well, I still want I know my limit is 2 more drinks. I want 2 more drinks. So I'm like, let me get what I've been having all night. Fan passes me. I didn't get the coconut joint. I just got the pina coladas in little short cups. He passed to me. I was really happy. He went to go ring me up. He brought me back the bill. The bill said $40. And I was trying to figure out how the fuck did that happen. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what kind of coconuts are you using? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this Don Julio? Is this Patron? Like, where are we with what's going on? And what alcohol
Where did
is
the
in Pina Colada?
communication get fault?
You know, and I was like, man, I was like, and then he just handed me the joint and walked up. I was like, bro, but he just handed me the cups, no straws. I'm like, $40, like nigga, I want the short straws. Don't leave me with these tall ass straws and this short ass cup. Like $40, I need a size appropriate
You might as well put in a
straw for this
coconut.
cup.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, so the whole night I'm dancing, right? You know what I'm saying? The little frozen joints kind of like spilling on my hands a little bit. Them $40 drinks though, I ain't waste not an ounce of liquor. You know what I'm saying? Like all my moves became like waist down. There was no shoulder, no waist up movements. You feel me?
Is that I'm like, no, no.
No, no. Also, I understand why y'all cut the open bar off at this point.
Yeah, it's like,
That
maybe
was
we're
crazy.
done.
Maybe we're done. $40 pina colada. I was like, okay, okay. I learned my lesson. It is what it
You
is.
gotta get it in before last call.
Listen, but it was fucking awesome, man. You were thoroughly missed.
Yeah, I ultimately Mike was there, right?
Yeah, Mike, Candace, and Kelsey was there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's
Kelsey
always
be walking around like it's like she walking on air and stuff like that. Like, is she always ready to model? Like, what's going on? You feel me? Like she just be moving around, ready to go. Outfit was on point. Candace, like Candace always a good time with Candace. Candace, listen, we need a Patreon because Candace was wilding at the end of the night.
She has a good time.
She was trying to set me and Karen up. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. At the end of the night, I was like, don't.
What?
Nope. If we gonna do it, you gonna do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, good plan. But it was fun. It was fun. Mike is Mike. Mike was cool. Mike was having a good old time. He was mingling.
Of course.
He was in his element, having a really nice time.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's like I almost don't need to be there. Like I want, but it's just like for me, it's more about Mike, and like Mike is Gumbo Fit in Chicago.
Yeah.
And the more people can start understanding that, the more I am able to do other things.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, the party was fucking crazy.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I wanted to be there. Yeah.
Like
it was definitely like. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm like completely cutting you off. So I'm sorry, but like it was like you, like a couple of 7 on Sunday runners who either didn't register or just couldn't get in because the spots just like filled up real quick. But it was like a group of people. Like I didn't mean missing you there as a representative Gumbo, but just missing
people.
Courtney. Like Courtney needed to be there. A few of the 7 on Sunday runners who weren't there needed to be there and stuff like that. Like. I mean, honest shit, I'm gonna say it right here, nigga. Jorge should have been there. Grocery should have been there.
Wait, Grocery Run? They weren't there?
We should have been fucking lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what? Like I know even me saying that, opens the door for even some other thoughts and stuff. But the shit filled up so fast. Like I don't, motherfuckers in the chat. Like I was waitlisted. You know what I'm saying? So. Everybody was invited. The whole city was invited and stuff like that. We promoted as much as we could, but them spots filled up so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. It was crazy. Like if you ain't signed up right when it was dropped, you might have missed it.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay. Yeah, I guess it does. I keep forgetting that like the Lululemon people probably aren't like in my mind, everybody was there. From just like assumption, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I had my good time last night with Athletic Greens. I had a really good dinner. I was eating nice. I was like chilling, I was looking cute. I didn't get any photos of my outfit, but I'll run it back.
We'll run it back. And now I will say they was playing their cards a little risky because they had us running. They loaded us with alcohol and they had very little food. It was very little food.
More food.
And I mean, like the food they was bringing out was like the little, on the trays,
appetizers.
the little bites. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all are well, like me and Karen went to the Hat afterwards and got split a gyro and some fries. You feel me? Like
because you needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But it was I had no complaints.
No, it looked like it was a fantastic time. I definitely was like, okay, they're having a good time. Okay, Nike, bringing the run clubs together. Okay, yeah, all right. You on the beach? Okay, that sounds cute.
It was nice.
Yeah, that sounds real nice.
Yeah. But I don't know. That was my week. Tomorrow I'm announcing Friday. I'm announcing the Twilight 5000. Track race in Montrose.
5,000.
Yeah, 5,000 meters.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, what the fuck? 5,000?
Yeah. 5,000 what? 5,000 miles, man. But no, 5,000 loops. So Tracksmith is coming back for their second one here in the city. And they tapped me to be the announcer. So I'll be shouting out all the names, shouting out the winners, just bringing that energy to this repeat. I'm ready to go. I'm excited.
I like it. I love it.
I'm also at home alone because my baby left. She went on a trip. She hanging out with our homies. So I got
Where?
I don't know if she want me to tell out her business, but she out of the city, you know what I'm saying? She out here flying. She on the East Coast though.
So she had a party and then hopped on the flight this morning. How did that happen? How did that work? She was okay.
Listen. She a soldier because she was lit last night. Like she was up. Okay, and then we came home. You know what I'm saying? We got to bed like dumb late, and then she got up at like 4 a.m. this morning to finish packing, and then we got her to a flight one time.
Nah, she probably slept on the plane at least. That's, got a couple hours in there and then.
Oh yeah. I texted, I was like, also, you need to eat something.
Please.
Because you need to eat something, meat and bread and water. Okay.
Please.
Like
all of these things.
Like something heavy. Let's go. You working on hella margaritas. That's what you just traveled on. Like, let's go.
That shit's still digesting. Like, it's not going to go away anytime soon. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I've been eating meat a lot. I had a gyro the other day and it was so fucking good.
Whoa. Oh my God. World premiere. This is crazy.
And it's funny because I moved to LA and it's like the vegan mecca, right? But I'm like, I'm in a place where I'm like just taking a break from any diet, any specific diet, and just being like, okay, what do I feel like eating?
What do I want to eat right now?
Yeah. And so and that's how I'm functioning. And I've been eating eggs and I've been eating all this stuff. And I feel good. I feel like my brain is healthier.
Mm.
And it's not to say that you can't have like a healthy body on a vegan diet because you can do it. It's just that though I was getting to the point where I wasn't able to like prepare things in advance and do all the, like, I wasn't able to do all that stuff. And honestly, like, I just been craving meat. Like, I love chicken. I love lamb. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want something that's greasy and has like animal fat in it. That's what I want.
Yes. Yeah. You wanted a meal that had a life at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? That had things to do. I was out here moving around, living. You feel me?
When you say it like that, I don't sound appetizing anymore. But, the point is...
Sometimes, listen, that should be good. You know what I'm saying? A cow that lived a good life. Ooh.
It's great. I mean, honestly, I'm a fan of bacon. When I was in Joshua Tree, I got some bacon from the deli. So fucking good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I just made all of our vegan listeners cringe. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
And and I'm here for the vegan lifestyle, but it's also just like, I can eat that because I know I like it. I eat it. But then I'm also like, so now I can implement my new knowledge and like way of preparing like really good, nutritious, veggie-based meals. But then I can kind of incorporate that into like having some meat in there too.
I love it. So. I love it. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Do you, baby. Enjoy it all.
Okay.
Enjoy it all. The world is yours.
I know. So that's my last update for you.
Awesome. I mean, well, I'm good. I got to go open up the store and stuff. Listen, I thought it was Friday.
I sure did.
Listen, I was like, I thought I was going to go to Julius's, what do you call that shit?
In school?
Orientation.
Oh.
I thought I was about to go there, so I didn't even go to the city yet. I should be in the city right now. I should be able to just leave this Zoom call and then go open the store, and that's not what's happening. So I got to drive probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours to the store right now.
That's how far away you live?
I mean, it's traffic. It's traffic around this time. Like, so it's going to be crazy. Now, I will tell you, though, I don't drive. I'm driving because I got the car. You know what I'm saying? But normally I'm taking the Metro and the CTA, and that's an hour 45 minutes to 2 hours both ways.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour day for me. So when I be getting up in the morning, like trying to run and work out, and I just don't be feeling it. But we're gonna figure it out.
All right.
We're gonna figure it out.
Okay. Have a good day. Drive safe.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Enjoy your day. Also, y'all enjoy y'all day. Go ahead.
Follow, subscribe, like.
I was going to say that. There we go. Listen, same page. That's my best friend. You feel me? She already know.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Peace.